So you're saying I was made in the image of God so that God can live inside of me and give me purpose.
Exactly, yeah.
I don't think I've ever heard somebody break it down like that before.
Hi, my name is Scarlett, and I'm an atheist and a skeptic, and I don't know what to make of the whole God lives inside you thing. I'm not sure why people find it appealing that a God comes inside you and fills you up. And ooh, not in that way, people. Get your mind out of the gutter. I know religious language is easily confused with the sexy times talk and something you might find on OnlyFans, but that's not our topic today. Like I was saying, why is it appealing to have some god inhabit you or animate you in any way? And it's not unique to one religion either. The ancient Greeks had this notion of gods coming inside people and animating them for various purposes. And in my yoga classes, I often hear instructors reminding us that our inner core is divine or whatever. Today, we're not so much going to understand why this is so appealing as hear an analogy about God being inside us. Maybe I'll get to explore the why of it all if I can find some information on it, but today we're just going to hear this wonderful analogy through a fave habit over on the Tickety Talk, someone watching another video while making faces. That's the blibbity blab. Let's go.
Watch how she beautifully explains this concept.
Yeah, it makes sense. So am I spiritually dead, you think? Like I'm going to hell, you think?
All right, so the setup for this great analogy is White Shirt Dude is worried he's spiritually dead, whatever that means, and maybe he's going to hell. Now, that part I do understand. You know, lake of fire, eternal torment because a god made you so that you would go there, you know, like you don't believe in him or whatever. Let's see what she says.
Well, let me explain it in a way that really helped me kind of understand this spiritually dead thing. So, a glove was made in the image of a hand, right?
Yeah.
Right? Wrong.
Thanks, Arnold. Wow, that brings back memories of old school YouTube. Seems like something like 10 years ago, everybody was using that. Anyway, I'm getting way off track already. I'm going to be super picky here, and maybe people are going to take issue with me, but the glove is not made in the image of a hand. This is made in the image of a hand, and these, and this creepy thing, and this useful thing. But, you know, why not pick a bra? A bra is made in the image of breasts, right? And that's a mighty useful thing. Anyway, let's see where this analogy goes.
5 fingers so that a hand can fit inside the glove. And with the hand, the glove is useful. You can use it and it has a purpose. But without the hand, the glove is lifeless.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
So White Shirt Dude just nods along. Yeah, sounds good, Christian chick influencer with the perfectly curly hair. Yeah. So I get some of the appeal of this analogy. There are lots of types of gloves for different purposes. To protect the hand while gardening, to protect the hand while washing dishes, or frankly any other work to limit contamination. You know, like there are different kinds of people and purposes. Nice. But still, I do not think we made gloves in the image of hands. We made gloves to fit hands, and we made them to specifications of whatever is needed for whatever we think that purpose is. And we make gloves for our purposes, but not to have a purpose, in the sense that a glove needs to be or feel fulfilled, like people seem to want to feel fulfilled and feel like they're having a purpose in life. And it's just plain silly to think that an item of clothing could have life in it. It's just an item of clothing or a protective layer. Going back to bras, there are lots of types of bras for different purposes. Maybe God could slide into one of those after he finishes the work of creation to, you know, protect his back or whatever.
Surprisingly, it does.
Okay, so
This dude and I do not think alike.
track with me. In the same way, we were created in the image of God, right?
Right? Wrong.
I like the way she traces her hand to emphasize what she's saying, and she speaks very slowly. She could be a teacher. I do shit like that. Like, can I emphasize what I'm saying even more clearly by enunciating and talking slowly? Will that help you learn? No? Well, maybe you should study more. By the way, I also like the TikToker's facial expression. He's like, ooh, this am good. But no, this are not good. This am dumb shit. We are not like gloves for God. There is no evidence that we are empty vessels or puppets or whatever waiting to be picked up and put on while God does some universe gardening. There's no evidence of this. This is some fantasy in people's brains, and I don't get it. It's not even a good fantasy. If this were fanfic on AO3, it would be terrible.
So that God can live inside of us. And with God, we have purpose. We're filled with his power, we're filled with his strength. But without God, we're spiritually dead. Does that make sense?
Lol, no. And just what does it mean to say we are filled with his power and strength? In what way? Are we all powerful like him? Are we like Marvel characters? I don't think so. I don't see this. I don't understand why this is even a thing. And while we're on the topic, how does God give us meaning and purpose? Is this like handed out like candy on Halloween? Now, gloves are very useful to us because we use our hands a lot. Our hands get cold. If we're gardening or we're doing other kinds of work, we risk getting cuts and wounds. Hands are very delicate and there are a lot of nerve endings down there. And, gloves can protect and make sure that they stay whole. And in medical situations, gloves can prevent infection spreading. And maybe some gloves just look nice and that's their only purpose is to be pretty or whatever. But how is someone working a menial job expressing the power and strength of God? What about the slaves and serfs of former times? Or people who have bullshit jobs now? I mean, why do we humans have to go through so much dumbass shit if we have the power and strength of the all-powerful, almighty God in us? And does he throw us out when we're worn out, like we throw out our gloves? Hey, maybe this is an okay analogy. All right, so let's listen to the end, which is what we heard at the beginning of this video.
I think it does, surprisingly. So you're saying I was made in the image of God so that God can live inside of me and give me purpose.
Exactly, yeah.
I don't think I've ever heard somebody break it down like that before.
So White Shirt Dude does seem happy with what happened here on this stage, but I'm not really sure we got the answer to his question about spiritual death and his hell destination. I'm giving this fanfic anti-kudos, infinite anti-kudos, and maybe I'll leave a nasty comment too. So what did you think of this analogy? What does it mean to you to be filled with or inhabited by a deity, a god, the all-powerful whatever of the universe? What is spiritually dead? What kind of gloves do you find most useful in your life? Put it in the comments below. I love to read your comments. And while you're down there, you know the drill. Do all the YouTube stuffing, the liking and the subscribing if you haven't already. Pour out your libations to the God we know is true, Algorithma, and his consort Algorithma. May they bless you with all kinds of recommendations from the old YouTube algorithm. And if you like what I do, you can buy me a coffee. Here are my cute kitties saying, buy us some kibble. I don't always buy them kibble with your money, by the way. I do sometimes buy a coffee. And while we're talking about coffee and the buying thereof, thanks to everybody who has bought me a coffee, and a special thanks to Crimson members. I really appreciate all the support that you've given to my channel. It really means a lot, and I do enjoy my coffee. And as for what's coming up next, well, I don't know, but there is a lot of stupid out on the internet. And whatever I do next, it's gonna be stupid. Bye for now.